What do you get when you mix a daughter who communicates with spirits living inside a television set, a backyard that becomes a swimming pool full of muddy skeletons, a wolf beast demon who lives in a closet, and a collection of creepy dolls and clowns? You get the perfect formula for blockbuster frights with this week's episode, Poltergeist. Released in June of 1982, Poltergeist quickly became an American horror classic. Poltergeist focuses on the Freelings, a middle-class family led by the youthful and dashing Craig T. Nelson, whose lives are upturned when paranormal and vicious events occur in their California home and their daughter Carol Ann is abducted through her bedroom closet by a group of ghosts who are under the control of a monster demon referred to as the Beast. After learning their house sits atop a Native American burial ground, the Freelings spend their time attempting to retrieve Carol Ann and all the while stay sane as they get smacked around and terrorized by the Beast and their minions. And with Poltergeist's success came a creepy mystique that the film is shrouded in a real-life curse. And the fuel for this alleged curse stems from the death of several cast members. In total, 4 cast members died during or soon after production ended. 2 of these tragic deaths were highly unexpected and very puzzling, leading many fans to speculate on the film's eerie implications. Carol Ann Freeling was played by Heather O'Rourke. Only 6 years old when Poltergeist was released, O'Rourke captivated audiences with her stark blonde hair, doll-like appearance, and big, inquisitive eyes. Sadly, however, she was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease in 1987. The following year, when she was only 12 years old, she fell ill and her symptoms were attributed to the flu. A day later, she collapsed and suffered a cardiac arrest. After being airlifted to a children's hospital in San Diego, O'Rourke died during an operation, and it was later believed that she had been suffering from a congenital intestinal abnormality. Dominic Dunn, who played older sister Dana Freeling, met an equally tragic and unforeseen fate. In 1982, Dunn separated from her partner John Sweeney. In November of that year, he showed up at Dunn's house pleading for her to take him back. When she refused, Sweeney grabbed Dunn's neck, choked her until she was unconscious, and left her to die in the driveway of her Hollywood Hills home. Sweeney was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, but released after only 3.5 years. Another Poltergeist cast member, Lou Perryman, who played Pugsley, was the victim of a bizarre and violent murder. In 2009, he was struck down by Seth Christopher Tatum, a young man who had recently been released from prison for robbery. He had no connection to Perryman and invaded the home unprompted, killing him with an axe. He later told police he'd gone into the house to steal Perryman's car and pleaded guilty to murder, receiving a sentence of life in prison in 2011. Horrific tragedies. Cast deaths were not the only basis for the curse's proliferation, as peculiar and creepy legends surround Poltergeist. In Robbie's room, among the Star Wars and Alien movie posters, there is a Super Bowl poster. But look again at the date, to be precise. Now, this is very strange because the film was not set in the future of 1988. So why is there a Super Bowl 1988 poster that is 6 years into the future. Even if Poltergeist was set in 1988, the film was released 6 years prior. No one had any idea, except whomever came up with that poster, that the Washington Redskins and the Denver Broncos would meet. Okay, so set that aside. The 1988 Super Bowl between the Redskins and the Broncos was played January 38, 1988, the day Poltergeist star Heather O'Rourke fell fatally ill and consequently died the next day. And to add one more layer of spookiness, that Super Bowl took place in San Diego, O'Rourke's hometown and place of death. But Vanessa, there possibly can't be anything else creepy about the production of Poltergeist, right? Not if you consider that real human skeletons were used in the swimming pool scene, since the crew decided it would be too complicated and expensive to get fake ones. JoBeth Williams was not made aware of this until after the scene was finished. And while the notion of using real skeletons seems outlandish by today's standards, using actual cadavers was not that unheard of in the 1980s. And to that point, director Tobe Hooper had done the exact same thing when he directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974. But as part of this alleged curse, some fans believe the owners of those bones weren't happy with how their remains were being used, leading to the eerie incidences that followed. While some may have believed that there were eerie happenings going on during the making and following the production of the film, others have taken these events with a grain of salt. Oliver Robbins, who played Robbie Freeling, said he believes in the paranormal, quote, to some degree, but that he doesn't think that there is a poltergeist curse. Quote, these tragedies can be explained, he said. You have these tragedies happen, but they were going to happen whether the actors were in the movie or not, end quote. And it makes sense that there would be something haunting the set of a horror movie. After all, isn't the act of telling ghost stories simply paying tribute to the unknown or to the paranormal? If you're making a scary movie about ghosts, you've simply got to believe that they exist and that they might want to curse you a bit, just so you're absolutely sure. What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and while you're there, walk to the light and put a rope around the subscribe button so you never miss a thing. As always, we appreciate our listeners, our viewers, our supporters. We are on Facebook, TikTok. You can find the Real Relationships podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. And you will want to subscribe to us because this is just the first of 5 Halloween episodes we are covering this year. Our next one is the 1959 Vincent Price classic, House on Haunted Hill. You're not going to want to miss that or any of our episodes. Stay safe. We will see you soon.